I take the bus, the shuttle every morning to class from our apartment, and that morning, it's usually about 7 in the morning, I'm on the shuttle, and I was sitting right behind the bus driver, and as soon as we turned the corner, we saw the man laying in the road. So there wasn't anybody out there helping him. There were still cars trying to get around him, and he was just laying in the street. So I asked the bus driver to stop, and she stopped the bus in the middle of the road, and I got off. The professor who was hit was really conscious. He was about 75 and really calm, and I was amazed he gotten through what he'd gotten through. And then there was another man by his feet, by the victim's feet, and he was starting to work on his legs because apparently he had shattered his leg. So when I got there, I stayed up by his head because he had a head injury and his head had a big pool of blood around it on the ground, and he was laying on his side already in the recovery position. And we kept just trying to talk to him and keep him conscious, because when you have a lot of blood leave your head and it was that cold and he was laying on the concrete, you can go into shock. And his age, if you go into shock, you could die. I took my mittens off and I gave him my mittens, put it on his hands, and we took my coat off and I put it over his body. And the other man was still stabilizing his legs, trying to keep him from moving. So we just kept talking to him, and he said he was a professor of physics at the University of Utah, that he didn't have very much family in the area. Then the fire department came, and then the paramedics came, and they took over from there. I just know that if I was laying out there and nobody stopped to help me, how awful that would feel. So I knew that I could help and that I'd had training to help, even if it was just talking to him. I got my training at Fort Sam Houston, Texas. It was in 2009, I think, and I went through, and it's about 16 weeks. You go through the training. In the first 8 weeks, you get your EMT license, and then the second 8 weeks, you get what they call, the job itself is called 68 Whiskey in the Army, and then it's called the Whiskey Training, in which they teach you basically paramedic stuff, and you learn how to treat combat wounds on the front lines. So it was a long 16 weeks, but I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really fun, and you learn stuff that you can never really learn anywhere else. I am really happy that I helped, that I got to stop and get off the bus and that I got to see him that morning. I was in the right place at the right time, I guess.